the Barclays Premier League. Season 2008-2009. A new chapter was ready to be written.
Audacity of the highest quality. Will it drop it for Sunshine? Oh, what a stunning goal! And he has proved it again with a magnificent goal. What a goal, Giovanni! Yeti! Oh my word, what a goal! Oh, it's absolutely brilliant! That is magnificent! Well, that is an amazing goal!
Manchester United may have been revelling in the glory after their 10th Premier League title the previous season, but Sir Alex Ferguson was already plotting for crown number 11.
Last year we got very close to the treble because we were unluckily knocked out of the FA Cup. Trebles are it's only been done once for a British team, and I don't think it'll be done again. But the aim always here is to win a major trophy, and that's what we'll try and do again.
The biggest news for the champions was not a new signing, but being able to keep 2008 Barclays Player of the Season Cristiano Ronaldo after a summer of speculation linking him with Real Madrid. Gareth Barry was also staying put. His pending move to Liverpool never materialised after a disagreement about his fee. Barry might have slipped through the net, but Rafa Benitez did manage to strengthen his attacking options with the acquisition of Robbie Keane. Chelsea had been busy too. Avram Grant had gone. Replacing him, owner Roman Abramovich went big, namely Big Phil Scolari, who was preparing for a tough season.
I need to learn I need to learn English. I need to know my players. Look, is the most different challenge in my life. Sure.
It wasn't just the top four hogging all the headlines. Mark Hughes left Blackburn to join Manchester City. Taking his place at Ewood Park was Paul Ince, becoming the first black British manager in the Premier League's history. Joining the top flight at the expense of Reading, Birmingham and Derby were West Bromwich Albion, Stoke City and for the first time in their 105-year history, Hull City.
I think we've got to embrace what's coming. I think we're getting challenged at the highest level, and okay, that means an awful lot of changes in your life, but they're welcome changes. I don't think you should fear it. I think you should grab a hold of it with two hands and try and do your best, and hopefully that will represent success next year for us.
Everything was in place for the new campaign. 9 months of drama and excitement lay ahead for everyone involved.
West Brom were the first of the promoted sides to take centre stage with a daunting opener at Arsenal. The Gunners were keen to add silverware to their cabinet for the first time since 2005. Baggies boss Tony Mowbray was up for the challenge though.
Players have worked extremely hard. We understand we go into the Emirates against one of the best teams in this country, but anywhere in the world I would suggest, and so we know the task in front of us, but we will go there and give it our best shot, be as positive as we always are, and see the outcome.
The outcome was predictable though, the home side inspired by one of their new boys.
West Brom could be a bother here, and it's Samir Nasri on his Premier League debut.
A solid start for Wenger and his men. The Baggies may have failed to open their account, but another of the newcomers made a dream start. Hull City were tipped by many to be the whipping boys of the league, but didn't take long to dish out some punishment of their own.
Have a go! And the little Brazilian enters Hull folklore. Their first ever goal to the top flight, and what a goal! And Fagan's won it, Craig Fagan, and Bolan scores the goal that puts Hull City on course for victory in their top flight debut.
Paul Ince also enjoyed a debut that went according to plan. His first game in charge of Blackburn ended with a 3-2 win at Everton.
And it's Nelson, and it's Oyer, and Blackburn have won it right at the end.
The champions kicked off their title defence against Newcastle, who had Kevin Keegan at the helm. United were a little slow off the blocks and had to settle for a point. Aston Villa were off to a flying start. Gabriel Agbonlahor scored the Premier League's second fastest hat-trick ever against Manchester City.
Hat-trick here. Oh, it's brilliant.
Chelsea also started the new season brightly thanks to new signing Deco, who was taking to his new surroundings like a duck to water.
Fancies one himself. The perfect start for the Portuguese playmaker, and that just about wraps up the perfect afternoon for Chelsea.
That goal and some commanding displays helped Chelsea to 2 wins and a draw in August and earn the 31-year-old the Player of the Month award. Manager of the Month went to Gareth Southgate, who guided Middlesbrough to 2 wins out of 3. At the time, all seemed set fair on the Borough horizon.
The chairman gave me an opportunity here, which was, a great leap of faith by him to appoint somebody with so little experience. Hopefully I've repaid that faith. We've stayed in the league for 2 years where we were undergoing great transition, and it's an important season for us now to show that we can do more than just stay in the division.
As for the goal of the month, well, that went to Ricardo Fuller for this impressive strike against Aston Villa.
On a remarkable final day of the transfer window, Manchester City were taken over by the mega-rich Abu Dhabi group.
Come on, City!
They quickly signed Robinho from Real Madrid for £32.5 million. They weren't the only club spending big in Manchester. Dimitar Berbatov finally put pen to paper for United in a deal worth around £30.75 million. Tottenham, having lost top scorers Berbatov and Robbie Keane, signed Russian hotshot Roman Pavlyuchenko from Spartak Moscow. All was not well up in Newcastle. After a summer of discontent, Kevin Keegan walked out on the Magpies for a second time after his relationship with the board broke down. The fans were devastated by owner Mike Ashley's running of the club.
Complete disgrace. Mike Ashley needs to go. There's no doubt about it, he needs to go.
He's not even here today, and it's supposed to show he's not interested.
Ashley's got to be out by Monday. He's got to be out. He's got to go. He has got to go.
Ashley put the club up for sale and surprisingly installed former Wimbledon boss Joe Kinnear as interim manager until a buyer could be found. The one-time crazy gang leader knew exactly where he stood.
I'm going to be here for as long as hopefully for a long period of time, but if it's not to be, then I'm aware of that myself. But the point is that I've got to make sure that I do exceptionally well here for my own future.
There was another management walkout when West Ham's Alan Kirbishley resigned after a row over transfer policy. The big surprise came in his replacement, former Chelsea legend Gianfranco Zola.
Thank you. Thank you very much, guys.
Even though Liverpool had never won the Premier League, they remain the most successful English club with 18 league titles. Though that record was in danger with United on 17, they clashed at Anfield.
It's set up for Tevez. Goal! Glorious goal for Manchester United. Alonso. Oh, and it's the goal. A crazy goal for Liverpool, but they're level. They'll take it any which way. Just about recovered. It's come to count. Wonderful chance for Liverpool here. Goal! Ryan Babel.
Over the summer, Emmanuel Adebayor was linked with moves to AC Milan and Barcelona. Gunners fans were not entirely convinced when he stayed in London.
Clever ball by Ramsey. Adebayor on a hat-trick.
He went on to showcase his class by scoring his third hat-trick for the club against Blackburn. The big story of the month, though, was Hull City's dream start continuing against Arsenal.
Not a bad effort. What an effort. What a goal. Giovanni brings Hull back on level terms. And they've got the lead. Can you believe it? Daniel Cusa, with his first goal for Hull City, gives them the lead at the Emirates. Incredible.
It was a wonderful achievement for the club. Phil Brown was named as Manager of the Month. And this Giovanni strike was named Goal of the Month.
Player of the Month.
Player of the Month went to Ashley Young as his performances and goals helped Villa to finish September in 3rd place.
Come on, all!
Hull were in an amazing 6th place, with West Ham just above them. Liverpool and Chelsea shared top spot. Spurs, still without a win, were rock bottom, while Manchester United were 11th.
Hull weren't the only newcomers to be taking the league by storm. Steve Bruce had taken a gamble on the loan signing of Amir Zaki from Zamalek in Egypt. And what a gamble that was turning out to be.
Chance here, and it's in, and it's a tremendous debut goal for Amir Zaki. This is Capo, and then Zaki! He's done it again for Wigan Athletic!
8 games, 7 goals. Already rumours of a big move in the next transfer window were starting to circulate. Back to Hull, who had another date in North London, this time against struggling Tottenham Hotspur. Surely they couldn't repeat their Arsenal heroics, could they?
It's Giovanni. What a goal! What a fantastic goal by Giovanni!
A remarkable start to the season that no one could have predicted. It was a totally different tale for Tottenham. A 2-1 defeat at Stoke City, who'd been tipped by many to go straight back down, proved to be the end of the road for Juan de Ramos and sporting director Damien Comoli. The club sacked both of them following Spurs' worst start to a season in almost a century. Rooted to the bottom of the league and still without a win, they wasted no time in announcing Ramos's replacement. Just 24 hours later, Harry Redknapp took charge of Spurs for the first time at home to Bolton.
Andy looking to cross, Pavlyuchenko's the target, clearly in towards Pavlyuchenko, and what a super goal there from Spurs! Darren Bent preparing to take, can he dispose of it? Yes he can, super finish there, and Spurs have their second.
Harry Houdini had done it, delivering at his first attempt something Ramos hadn't managed all season, a win. But next up were neighbours Arsenal.
Well, that is an amazing goal! And Arsenal have equalised, and it's Mikhail Silvestre with a left scored! Oh, what a knife to the centre-back! Adebayor, like all good strikers, followed it in. And Ben followed it in, as Adebayor had done a couple of minutes earlier. Tottenham, who were back in it seconds earlier, are 2 goals down again. Oh, that is a brilliant goal. Deflected, oh, it's hit the post, and Lennon has equalised in one of the most astonishing finishes of the season.
An amazing comeback, and Redknapp's stock continued to rise as he went on to make the best start to a managerial career at Tottenham for 110 years. The cockerel was crowing again.
It's been a great start. There's still a long way to go, and you know the league table is so tight this year. I just feel you've got to keep picking up results to get out that relegation scrap, because it's going to be tight all season.
FA Cup holders Portsmouth responded to the departure of Redknapp by promoting Tony Adams to the hot seat. Elsewhere, Hull's amazing month continued. They briefly went joint top of the Premier League with a 3-0 win at West Brom.
It's Marlon King! No way back surely now for Albion.
Liverpool were looking to continue their good start to the season at Stamford Bridge. It wasn't going to be easy though. Chelsea hadn't been beaten at home for 86 games.
Here's Vieira, left it to Alonso, and it's gone in!
Liverpool's 1-0 win saw them go 3 points clear at the top of the table and helped Rafa Benitez to collect the Manager of the Month award. Frank Lampard was named Player of the Month, helping Chelsea to 3 wins out of their 4.
Goal of the month.
And the goal of the month went to David Bentley for his moment of magic against Arsenal. Despite Spurs' first win, they were still in the bottom 3 with Wigan and Bolton. Liverpool were looking good at the top. At that stage, they were 8 points clear of Manchester United, who only had 1 game in hand.
November started well for Chelsea as they moved back to the top of the Barclays Premier League with a 5-0 thrashing of Sunderland.
Malouda, Cole's made a move to the middle and Elka's waiting for his hat-trick and claims it!
Anelka's hat-trick saw his goal tally rise to 8. Liverpool had the chance to reclaim top spot, but they had to beat a revitalised Tottenham.
It's a sweet turn by Bentley. Going for the corner. That's a great save by Rayner. Pavlyuchenko! Tottenham have it in stoppage time!
Pavlyuchenko's winner was scarcely deserved after Liverpool had dominated. Vital points lost for the Reds. Arsenal's credentials to cope with tough away trips were tested by Stoke. It was an exam they failed.
Towards Walter Fuller, and it's in! Stoke strike! It is a classic Stoke City goal, and Arsenal in real trouble here.
The Gunners, one of many sides to struggle with the long throwing capabilities of Rory Delap, but a famous day for Stoke, and Tony Pulis was ecstatic.
It was a fantastic result. It was a fantastic occasion for not just the players but the supporters as well, to get one of the top sides in the world, never mind England, down to the Britannia and actually win a game of football against them and really play well as well, and deservedly win the game was fantastic.
Arsenal looked in trouble, and the last thing they needed after that result was a visit from the reigning champions.
Nasri, goal for Arsenal! A lot of passes in this move. Fabregas and Nasri! What a fantastic goal for Arsenal!
The feel-good factor didn't last long. Following a 2-0 defeat to Aston Villa, William Gallas was stripped of the captaincy and dropped for criticising his teammates. With Fabregas named as the new club captain, Gallas returned to the starting lineup when the Gunners travelled to Stamford Bridge.
Playing it in for Kalou! It's an own goal! Here's Van Persie, flags down! Arsenal are level! Van Persie! He's done it again!
Stamford Bridge no longer the fortress that it once used to be. The previous season, City did the double over United, winning both Manchester derbies. The champions made amends this time, Wayne Rooney scoring the only goal of the game, his 100th for the club. Everton inflicted a first home defeat for Tottenham boss Harry Redknapp at White Hart Lane. Sadly, though, their joy was dampened slightly with the news that Yakubu would be out for the rest of the season through injury. Bolton went from bottom of the table to 9th with 4 wins out of 5, showcasing how tight the league was this season. This impressive run earned Gary Mexon the Manager of the Month award. Player of the Month went to Anelka for his 7 goals against Sunderland, Blackburn and West Brom. While Goal of the Month was this cracker from Pompey's Glenn Johnson against Hull. Tottenham finally escaped the bottom 3, but Sunderland and Newcastle were slipping. Liverpool and Chelsea continued to fight at the top, but United were creeping closer.
December. These were dark days for the Black Cats. Having slipped into the bottom 3, Roy Keane resigned as Sunderland manager. Ricky Sprazier was put in charge of team affairs until a new manager could be appointed, and the team responded straight away.
Cisse scores! Never in doubt, and Sunderland have 4. It's Cisse on the chart here. It's another goal for Sunderland. They are running riot.
Back-to-back 4-0 wins earned Sprazier an 18-month deal as Sunderland's new manager. Blackburn's new boss was in trouble. Defeat to Liverpool meant Paul Ince had managed just 3 wins in 16 league games.
The only way we can stay in the Premier League is by getting a new manager in. It's as simple as that.
It all came to a head a week later after their 3-0 loss to Wigan.
We want in Chelsea! We want in Chelsea!
The fans got their wish. Ince was sacked, leaving the club second bottom in the Premier League. 24 hours later, Sam Allardyce was unveiled as his successor. Out of work since being sacked by Newcastle, he quickly restored the feel-good factor.
It's really fizzed in right. Oh, it gets even better for Blackburn. And Roberts is in here, he can kill the game. McCarthy, it's in. McCarthy scores. Blackburn and Sam Allardyce off to a flyer.
Big Sam had a mission on his hands, but appeared to be the right man for the job. Back in the capital, Gianfranco Zola made his first return to Stamford Bridge in 5 years and discovered he hadn't been forgotten.
Emotions are emotions that are very difficult to put in words. It was great anyway for me to be there, and the reception that I've had, it was unbelievable. It's once more proved me how those supporters have been wonderful to me, and it's very, very good.
The game ended 1 apiece. Not great for Chelsea's title challenge, but a fitting result to mark the return of a Chelsea legend. Aston Villa brought him back down to earth a few days later, though.
Oh, it's in!
A lucky James Milner goal, enough to give the Villains the win and move them to third in the Premier League. While Villa were climbing the table, Hull were plummeting. A dire performance against Manchester City on Boxing Day saw them 4 down by the break. Incensed by the display, Phil Brown gave his players a very public dressing down.
It wasn't a knee-jerk reaction. It was a reaction. I looked to my right and I seen 4,500 Hull City fans who had arranged their Christmas Day, Boxing Day festivities around coming to Eastlands to support their team, and we'd let them down in the first half.
Manchester United had been sidetracked by the FIFA Club World Cup, but brushed aside fears of jet lag with a crucial win at Stoke. Elsewhere, Liverpool demolished Newcastle 5-1, while Chelsea continued to drop points, notably against the rejuvenated Fulham, who were thriving under Roy Hodgson. Martin O'Neill, who'd guided Aston Villa into the top 4, was manager of the month. 2 stunning goals in a thrilling 3-2 win at Goodison Park saw Ashley Young become the first player to win the Player of the Month 3 times in a calendar year. Goal of the month went to Robin van Persie for this effort against Liverpool. Villa were enjoying themselves among the elite. Arsenal, the team being made to suffer. West Brom were already contemplating the need to repeat their heroics of 2004 when they escaped relegation after being bottom at Christmas.
January!
January!
As the transfer window opened, Manchester City launched an audacious but unsuccessful £100 million bid to buy Brazilian star Kaká from Milan. But they did pay a total of £43 million for Wayne Bridge, Craig Bellamy and Nigel de Jong. Jermaine Defoe rejoined his former Portsmouth manager Harry Redknapp at Tottenham. Sir Alex Ferguson talked about the possibility of Liverpool choking in the title race, and Rafa Benitez responded, the start of a verbal war between them.
I think that they are nervous because we are at the top of the table. Only Mr. Ferguson can talk about the features, can talk about the referees, can talk about all these things, and nothing happened. He's the only manager in the league, in the English league, that cannot be punished for these things. I am talking about facts, things that everybody can see every single week.
Fergie's team answered on the pitch. They were on a charge with Edwin van der Sar on his way to breaking the consecutive clean sheet record. Next up were Chelsea.
Berbatov on, and the header in, the net! Now Everett across. And it's in! It's Rooney, it's 2! Ronaldo, and Berbatov seals it! 3 goals, 3 points, and a huge statement of intent from the reigning Premier League champions.
Another victory and clean sheet followed in midweek against Wigan. Now they were just 2 points behind Liverpool with a game in hand. The title race was well and truly on. Bolton Wanderers provided the next challenge.
He's got Berbatov waiting. Got to find it, Berbatov! That is the goal which will send them to the top of the Barclays Premier League.
But Liverpool could reclaim first place by beating Everton in the 204th Merseyside derby.
Here's Gerrard. Goal! Steven Gerrard has broken the game open. And it's there. It is 1-1, and those smiles have turned to frowns.
That draw meant that United and Liverpool shared the top spot level on points, but United had a game in hand. Chelsea hadn't dropped off completely, but the pressure was now beginning to show on Scolari. They needed 2 very late goals to beat Stoke at home.
What a time to get it! What a sickener for Stoke City! And what a story for Scolari and Chelsea!
They had the 3 points, but something was not quite right at Stamford Bridge. Emile Heskey had rejoined his former Leicester boss Martin O'Neill at Aston Villa in a £3.5 million move from Wigan. He promptly showed why he was still in demand.
Heskey through the middle, chance for Heskey! A debut goal for Emile Heskey!
January looked a tough month for Everton, taking on the likes of Liverpool, Arsenal and Manchester United, but they lost only one of those. That run could have broken many a team, but David Moyes' resilient side was shooting for Europe again.
I think that period was a period where I wanted to see how we'd cope, and to be fair, we came through that month really well, getting through in the cup and also picking up good league points.
After guiding Manchester United back to the top, Alex Ferguson was awarded the Manager of the Month award. For his commanding displays at the back, Nemanja Vidic was named Player of the Month.
Goal of the month!
That went to Paul Konchesky for this tracer bullet against West Ham.
Oh, come on, Liverpool!
At the top, United were 5 points clear. Liverpool and Chelsea had work to do. Stoke had managed to climb out of the bottom 3 at the expense of Blackburn. Portsmouth were plummeting.
Yeah!
February!
For various reasons, Robbie Keane hadn't made the impact expected of him at Liverpool, and after just 5 goals in 19 league appearances, he rejoined Tottenham. Manchester City finally gave Shay Given a route out of Newcastle in an attempt to shore up their leaking defence. And as the transfer window was extended by a day, Arsene Wenger's offer proved too good for Andrei Arshavin to turn down. He arrived for £15 million from St Petersburg. February kicked off with Liverpool and Chelsea facing off at Anfield in their respective bids to keep the pressure on Manchester United.
Mistake by Cole, it's Bellerin, it's Torres! Liverpool have sealed in now!
That defeat proved one too many for Felipe Scolari, who was sacked by Roman Abramovich after just 36 games at the helm. You can be a World Cup winner with Brazil, but that doesn't guarantee success in one of the toughest leagues in the world. In his place came Huss Hiddink, working in a dual role as Chelsea's temporary boss until the end of the season, alongside his duties as Russia's national coach. He wasted no time in reviving Chelsea's title challenge, with wins against Aston Villa and Wigan. The Blues not ready to wave the white flag just yet.
Chelsea are ahead! And is that the goal that keeps Chelsea alive in the title race?
If Scolari's dismissal was a shock, then the departure of Tony Adams after just 15 weeks in charge of Portsmouth was rather more predictable. A 3-2 home defeat to Liverpool, Pompey's 7th reversal in 8 games, sealed his fate. Paul Hart was named as caretaker manager until the end of the season. Aston Villa had been in great form either side of Christmas. Unbeaten throughout the whole of December and January, they'd begun to consolidate their position in the top 4. A win against Blackburn late in February saw them go 7 points clear of Arsenal in 5th. But could they keep it going?
It is so important for us, if we want to keep momentum going, is to try and stay unbeaten for a little while longer. Or if we do get beaten in games, which can happen in this Premiership just like that for us to then to regain momentum and try and go again.
By contrast, troubled Newcastle were without their manager. Joe Kinnear required heart surgery. His assistant Chris Hughton was placed in temporary control. David Moyes, whose Everton side remained in contention for a spot in Europe, was manager of the month, a popular choice among his contemporaries. His centre-back Phil Jagielka was also recognised for his sterling efforts, taking the Player of the Month award. And Ryan Giggs turned back the clock against West Ham with this vintage effort to put himself in the record books as the only player to score in every season since the inception of the Premier League. By the end of the month, Chelsea had moved ahead of Liverpool on goal difference, but both were still 7 points behind United. It remained exceptionally tight in the bottom half, with even Manchester City in 11th unable to relax.
Liverpool had to win at Old Trafford to keep their title challenge alive. United, having won the League Cup, knew that they could kill off their big rivals. But this one produced a quite astonishing scoreline in a match which no Anfield fan will ever forget.
Out comes Reina and a penalty is given. 1-0.
But Liverpool's response stunned Old Trafford.
Torres dispossesses Vidic. Could be an equaliser. It is an equaliser for Liverpool. Fernando Torres. Evra's tackle. The referee's given Liverpool a penalty. And Gerrard converts from the spot. Liverpool in front for the first time. This landmark match in what could be a landmark season. It's Aurelio. Up and over. That is a brilliant goal from Fabio Aurelio. And Liverpool have a 2-goal cushion. 4 points will be the difference to Sena. Oh, how about that?
Liverpool 4-1 winners, the first time United had conceded 4 at home since QPR managed it in 1992. A week later, United looked to bounce back against Fulham, but Craven Cottage had become a fortress.
Touched on by Zamora. Brilliant point-blank save. Oh, it's a red card. Scholes sent off a deliberate handball. A man down. Are they about to be a goal down as well? Murphy, so often in the past, the curse of Manchester United gives Fulham the lead at Craven Cottage. Johnson. Zoltan Gera, this could finish it! Well, would you believe it? Manchester United staring at back-to-back defeats, and Fulham for the most famous of wins. Wayne Rooney losing his head. He's already been booked, remember. He's gone to his pocket here, Phil Dowd, and Wayne Rooney will be sent off. Manchester United crumbling here in West London.
Fired up after the previous week's results and United's dip in form, Liverpool hosted Aston Villa, and Steven Gerrard was devastating, scoring a hat-trick as Liverpool won 5-0 to keep the pressure on. Chelsea were clinging on, but Hiddink's first defeat at Tottenham didn't help their cause one bit.
Zips it into Modric! And Spurs are in front! Fantastic finish of Luka Modric!
Hull were fading fast and falling like a stone, but a 90th minute winner from Manucho gave the Tigers their first league win since early December. Would this prove to be Hull's lifesaver at the end of the season?
It's in! Set up by one substitute, scored by another. What a time to get your first goal in English football. It's Fulham 0, Hull City 1.
For rekindling his team's Premier League title hopes, Liverpool's Rafa Benitez took his second Manager of the Month award. Keeping it in the family, Steven Gerrard took Player of the Month for his inspired performances. That went to Carlton Cole with this stunning effort against Wigan. Arsenal had nipped back above Villa into 4th place. United's lead was 1 point. At the bottom, look at Newcastle, joining Middlesbrough and West Brom in the bottom 3.
April! Newcastle's season had gone from bad to worse, but the club had one last trick up its sleeve and on April Fool's Day announced that Alan Shearer was to take charge until the end of the season. It was no joke, but would it work?
He's coming up, he's coming, Shearer's coming home.
Absolutely brilliant. He's a man and a half. He always has been in my eyes. He always will be.
If they go down, it's not really his fault, so he won't get the blame for it. If they stay up, I suppose he'll be more of a legend than he already is.
A tough start lay ahead though, against an informed Chelsea.
Bonaccini's left it, Anelka, and off the woodwork, Lampard! Goal for Chelsea! Here's Lampard again, through for Malouda, 2-0 to Chelsea! Oh, they've broken Newcastle's hearts here!
On the same day, Stoke beat West Brom 2-0, pushing them up the table towards safety and away from Newcastle. The following week, the two sides met at the Britannia.
Oh, it's in! It's Abdoulaye Faye, the former Newcastle player. Duff, back towards Carroll, that's a brilliant header! And it's the local hero, Andy Carroll, who's put Newcastle back on level terms.
Shearer's first point as manager did little to help their cause. Tottenham were next and dealt Newcastle another blow, beating them 1-0. With Stoke and Sunderland winning on the same weekend, time was running out for the two. At the other end of the table, Liverpool continued to keep up the pressure on Manchester United. Yossi Benayoun's 90th minute goal secured a vital win at Fulham to take them top again. The following day, United looked certain to drop points at home to Aston Villa, who came from behind to lead 2-1. Another twist in the title race, or so it seemed. At which stage, the hitherto unknown Federico Macheda stepped into the spotlight. Ronaldo equalised, then this.
Macheda with a good turn! What a moment! The 17-year-old has won it for Manchester United!
In one split second, Macheda became a household name around the world, a dream start to his professional career. Liverpool kept up the pressure on United by beating Blackburn 4-0 the following weekend. United were at Sunderland later that day. Again the scores were level, so Ferguson turned to his wonder kid once more.
Here's Carrick now, steadies himself, deflected! Kiko Macheda!
United had found a new star. Those winning goals had restored the champions' belief and morale at a critical stage. Disappointed, but still not completely downhearted, Liverpool then entertained Arsenal at Anfield in a game that will be remembered as one of the greatest ever seen in the Premier League.
Chance for Arsenal, and Arshavin has scored at the top end. And Torres! And Arsenal look shaky. And there's Benayoun! Slack by Arbeloa. Arshavin shoots and scores wonderfully. Oh, it's straight to Arshavin! It's a hat-trick! Torres. Teasing. Oh, he's pulled it back again! And the Roadrunner is on his way. Alonso, last man back, releases it. Arshavin! 4! Alonso. Mascherano. Benayoun! A Premier League classic!
It was an extraordinary match, but more lost ground for Liverpool in the title race. It was another season without silverware for Arsenal, but Arsene Wenger wasn't too worried.
We are in the most competitive league in the world at the moment, and no matter how much money you invest, you need a philosophy. We have a philosophy, we have a line of conduct, we have to stick to that, and I'm convinced that we will be successful.
United saw off Portsmouth 24 hours later to go 3 points clear of Liverpool. but the following Saturday found themselves 2-0 down at half-time against Tottenham, who were by now in with a shot of European football. Fergie rung the changes to great effect during the interval.
To restore a hope.
An inspired comeback and a performance that suggested the title would soon be theirs again. Andrei Arshavin was named as Player of the Month, 5 goals in all for him during April.
Manager of the Month.
For leading United to the verge of an historic 11th title, Sir Alex Ferguson collected more individual silverware. Fernando Torres snapped up the Goal of the Month award with his beauty against Blackburn. United on top, and they still had a game in hand on Liverpool. Fulham were up to 7th. North East gloom for Middlesbrough, Newcastle and Sunderland, with Hull in big trouble too.
Liverpool ached for that first Premier League title, and their 3-0 thrashing of Newcastle further dented Alan Shearer's hopes of saving his club from relegation. Liverpool beat West Ham by the same scoreline the following week. With 4 games left to play, United knew the title was in their grasp. A 2-0 victory against Manchester City inched them ever closer.
It's Carlos Tevez! It's wonderful!
That win meant they needed just 4 points from their remaining 3 games to clinch the title. But an inspired Wigan provided stern resistance.
Hits it early, Rodallega. Oh, and another slip, and it's a goal! Wigan Athletic have torn off the script here. They've taken the lead against Manchester United. That was most certainly not on the cards.
A crisis. Could United strike back?
Carrick tries his luck. And Tevez! Oh, it's a freak goal, and the goalkeeper should have done better. But Tevez has made an instant impact after coming off the bench, and Manchester United are level. They're still looking for the winner here. And they've got it, surely. Michael Carrick with another late show from Manchester United. It might just be the most important goal they've scored this season. It might be the goal that sees them crowned champions again.
There was still a battle going on for 3rd place. Both Arsenal and Chelsea wanted the last automatic Champions League spot. In the end, the Blues were too strong. 4-1 victors on the day, and 3rd place was theirs. Chelsea's final game of the season at Stamford Bridge was a routine 2-0 win over Blackburn. After the match, the players and fans had the chance to thank Guus Hiddink. They dearly wanted him to stay, but Russia called. The race for 7th, the last European place, was also hotting up. Fulham, nearly relegated the previous year, continued their revival under Roy Hodgson. They beat Villa. Passports ready.
I see the chance this year to finish in Europe and to finish 7th just as being a glittering prize and a real confirmation that this has been a great season for Fulham, and I see that as being, you know, the tangible, if you like, recognition.
At the bottom, Hull were dealt a major blow, losing to Stoke, who'd already confirmed that they would be playing Premier League football again next season. Newcastle and Middlesbrough had to wait until Monday night to face each other. Victory was of paramount importance to both sides, who knew that Hull's dramatic decline had offered them a passport to safety.
Tunchai, it's a goal! It's a goal for Middlesbrough! They're level. 1-1 after 9 minutes. Martins. Explosive ability, and here he is. substitution by Alan Shearer. Ball standing there, and that's it, wrapped up. It's Lovenkrantz. It's 3-1.
On the back of that win, Newcastle swap places with Hull, both on 34 points. Borough now look doomed, level on 31 points with West Brom.
The penultimate weekend arrived, and United could win the league at Old Trafford if they collected just 1 point. But standing in their way, Arsenal. Sir Alex Ferguson stood on the brink of his 31st major honour.
Alex Ferguson, without a shadow of a doubt, the greatest manager in the world, and it doesn't matter where you are, here abroad, Hong Kong, Nicosia, the Isle of Man or Monte Carlo, today's is the day that the Premiership title will be clinched by Manchester United. That's all I have to say.
Arsenal failed to find a way through. A scoreless draw handed United their 11th Premier League title, their 18th in total, equalling Liverpool's tally.
Amazing feeling, winning 3 years on the run now, it's absolutely unbelievable feeling. So especially Liverpool give us a great race this year. It's brilliant to be involved in, and thankfully we got the job done today.
Well, it's a fantastic achievement to win in home the Premier League again. It's brilliant. The feeling is always brilliant on supporters and all families. It's brilliant. I'm really happy today.
I never thought I could get 11 titles, never in a million years, because my aim was to win one, to win the first one and see where it took us, and of course we progressed so quickly after that.
With the title decided, all eyes focused on the relegation battle. Come the penultimate round of matches, 6 clubs were still in the mix. Newcastle should have been inspired after their victory against fellow strugglers Middlesbrough, but failed to capitalise and lost at home to Fulham by a single goal. Hull regained the sanctuary of 17th place from Newcastle after managing a 1-1 draw at Bolton. Tunchai put Middlesbrough a goal up against Villa, only for John Carew to equalise. Their Premier League status was now left hanging by a thread. And West Brom had to beat Liverpool at the Hawthorns, or they would become the first side to be relegated from the Premier League for a 3rd time.
Oh, terrible mistake by Martis. Gerrard in for Liverpool could be catastrophic for West Brom. Goodness me. Playing Russian roulette, and they've just shot themselves in the foot. And here's Count for Liverpool, who could put the game out of their reach surely, and maybe the season out of their reach. It's 2 for Liverpool, and it may well be relegation for West Bromwich Albion.
West Brom were down and out, relegated with a week of the season to go. But the club is well run, and they hope to be back for more soon. Portsmouth and Sunderland faced each other on Monday night. Pompey was safe by now and celebrated that with a 3-1 win to deepen Sunderland's anxieties.
So it would be 2 from 4 on the final day of the season to go down with West Brom. Agony for Sunderland, Hull, Newcastle and Middlesbrough. Sunderland and Hull had their destinies in their own hands. Win and nothing else would matter. But Newcastle and Middlesbrough needed to win, and hope results elsewhere fell for them. Middlesbrough had drawn level at West Ham, but only a big win would suffice. Sadly, they didn't do enough, losing 2-1. Borough were down. Sunderland valiantly fought against Chelsea, but were on the wrong end of a 5-goal second half, losing 3-2. To make sure of their survival, they had to wait for news from Hull and Newcastle and pray both didn't win. Hull faltered first, the second-string Manchester United taking the lead through Darren Gibson.
Decent effort, what a goal! News coming through that Manchester United lead at Hull City.
But Newcastle's joy lasted precisely 14 minutes.
Oh, a little deflection! Heartbreak for Newcastle United. Their worst fears realised there.
Full-time and Hull beaten. Now they waited for news from Villa Park.
Newcastle United and the Premier League. This is where it ends. It's full-time at Villa Park, and Hull City have survived. The celebrations can begin in earnest.
Those results also made sure that Sunderland would be playing top-flight football again next season. After the match, Ricky Sprazier resigned as manager. He'd kept the Black Cats up. It was now up to someone else to lead them forward.
This is the best trip I've ever been on.
Jubilation for Hull and their fans. What a season, taking the league by storm, but then winning just one solitary game in 2009 to limp over the line. A terrible day for North East football. Newcastle's 16-year Premier League stay was over, joining Borough in the Championship.
Nicholas Anelka's final day strike against Sunderland clinched him the Golden Boot with 19 league goals. For successfully defending their title, Sir Alex Ferguson and Nemanja Vidic were named Barclays manager and player of the season. So West Brom, Middlesbrough and Newcastle will all be playing their football in the Championship next season. Stoke finished a very respectable 12th. Everton, Aston Villa and Fulham will be part of the new Europa League, with the 4 Champions League places once again going to the Big Four.
United timed it perfectly to claim yet another Premier League title, and equalling Liverpool's tally will have made it all the sweeter, though this time the men from Anfield did push them close and finish top scorers. If United show the same class and desire as they have this season, they'll take some stopping. Manchester United, 90 points, champions again.
I feel